Hi, my name is Anthony Corpus. I'm a student at Dixie State University, and this is a presentation on my senior project. My project deals with the deployment of new virtual machines. For my hypervisor, I decided to use Proxmox. Its versatility and functionality, combined with a rich set of command line tools, attracted me away from other options. The project has three stages. The IT stage, where I set up the physical servers, installed the operating systems on the nodes, and configured all the networking so my servers could communicate appropriately. I also had to install several core systems vital to the project. These systems included two DNS servers, a web server, and a DHCP server. From there, I moved into what I call the scripting stage. This is really the meat and potatoes of my project. This is where not only do I automate the deployment of a new virtual machine, but also dynamically manipulate the services that are installed on it at the time of creation. Due to time constraints, I only chose to implement the installation of an Apache PHP 5 web server, but this could easily be modified to install and configure whatever packages you want: MySQL, DNS, Samba, and so on. The third stage was implementing a website so users could deploy servers quickly and efficiently. For a framework, I decided to use Django, as it and my scripts both utilize Python. This made for a seamless transition between the web interface and the back end. So let's log on and I'll walk you through the process of deploying your own virtual machine, installed with not only the latest updates, but also the services we want. In this case, an Apache web server. We can see here on the main navigation bar that we have several options. First, let's take a look at the virtual machines that are currently on the system. As you can see, this is a list of the virtual machines currently residing on the cluster. It gives critical information such as the node that the virtual machine is currently being hosted on, the VNC port it can be reached at, and its various hardware attributes. The Create VM link takes us to a short form where we can deploy a new server. The DB Sync is a special tool that only administrators can run that checks for any discrepancies between the data in the web server database and the virtual machines actually on the cluster. I will be demonstrating its functionality later on. The admin takes us to an administrative backend where we can manually manipulate the data in our website's database. And our profile page is just a simple page where we can edit our email and our name. Let's go ahead and create our new VM. I'll name it blue.soulravager.com. This must be a real, fully qualified domain name that our DNS servers can manage. Now we'll give it 512 megabytes of RAM, choose the Apache service, and give it a hard drive size of 16 gigabytes. Once we have all the information in, we can go ahead and create our new VM. This process takes several minutes, so I'll pause and come back when it's completed. Now that the setup is complete, we can simply go to the domain name that we gave it and visit our new website. Here we can see that our virtual machine was deployed, updated, and had the correct packages installed. Let's go back and make another virtual machine, and this time I'll walk you through the steps that are being taken in its creation. Let's name this one green.soulravager.com. Give it 1 gig of RAM and an 8 gigabyte hard drive. While that's running, we'll go ahead and jump over to the Proxmox backend. Right now in the status, we can see it starting to clone our template VM. The template is a bare bones installation of Ubuntu 12.04 server that has nothing but OpenSSH installed on it. Once the clone is complete, several key things happen in the background. First, we are adding a static DHCP record in our DHCP server using the new VM's MAC address. This way we can force the new VM to have the IP address that we want. Next, it takes the IP address from the fully qualified domain name and adds an A record in our DNS server. This is so we can get to the machine by its name as well as its IP. The last thing we do is resize the hard drive to the size specified when we initiated the creation. Once those steps are complete, we start the virtual machine and then initiate the update procedure. All interactions are initiated on the web server and remotely connect to the machines that need to be modified via an SSH connection. Let's go ahead and see if we can SSH into our new VM. Okay, now that we are in, let's run a top command and see if we can see the apt-get process running. This will indicate that the VM has connected to successfully and received its commands and is initiating its updates and installing the Apache and PHP 5 packages. Alright, it looks like our VM has finished installing its updates and packages, so let's see if we can once again visit our new website. And here it is. It appears to be functioning as intended. Now, let's take a look and see what happens when we delete a virtual machine from the cluster. So we'll go ahead and shut down the VM we just made and then remove it. Now, let's go back to the website and bring up the list of our current VMs. We can see that the VM that we just deleted is still on the website. Not good. We'll go ahead and run the dbsync command using the link above. It takes a few seconds to complete. Okay, we can see that it removed the virtual machine from the website database and we are once again in sync. I hope you enjoyed this short walkthrough of my project. It is still in the early stages of development, but it shows lots of potential for the future. My code can be found on GitHub. The link will be in the description. Thanks for watching and feel free to leave any comments below.